thank you very, very much for coming on here. As you know, I love the sport of boxing. And you're somebody that obviously you're local, we're both Birmingham. So it's an honour to have someone from my hometown on my show.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's the pleasure is all mine. Just to start off, if you can just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and I've got some questions that I'm going to ask as we go along.
Yeah. Obviously Shakan Pitters, born and raised Birmingham. 31 years old, British light heavyweight champion. Was the former English champion, ultimate boxer champion. I'm currently 14-0 and fight again in next week?
Less than a week.
Less than a week, but I'll be 15-0 and still have a title.
Yeah, for real. I've got that. So it's 14 straight old. You debuted in 2017?
Correct, yeah. I've been pro 3 years now.
I can't believe how many fights you've had in such a short space of time. But before, But before we come on to that, I had a little bit of research, and I've got here that you were an aspiring footballer.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so before I actually started boxing, I mean, my dad has a great, I owe my dad a lot because he brought myself and my brothers to the gym. He didn't allow myself to box at the time. I just feel like he just wanted me to stick and focus purely on football. And obviously I was then where my dad tells me no, I couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? My dad was the boss basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, was playing football from the age of 6. My dad took me to my first team, bought my first pair of football boots, took me there. I was playing competitive football by say 7, 8 little Saturday games around the Great Bay area actually. I can't remember what the field's names, but the fields was on the hill. After that road, so it was it's somewhere where I kind of see often anyway. But playing football. Then I got scouted by West Bromwich Albion at the age of about 11, 12. Played there, to almost the teenage years.
Yeah.
To my sorry. And then got released. Played a few semi-pro teams after that. House Owen and things. But it was the same. I lost love of football after not being able to, accomplish my dream, which was obviously go on to play in the Premier League and so on. But such is life, when one closes, another one opens. And I just got to the stage of my life where after that I was working. And I've never been the kind of person just to just work. I've always been the kind of person where I always believed that I was born to do something, and I don't know what exactly it was at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember a conversation at school. One of my a girl who was a good friend at school, and she was like, I just know you're gonna just do something. I don't know what it's gonna be. I know you're gonna just do something. I was like, I believe I should be doing something, but I just don't know what. But make it, man. I know the kind of person you seem like you're gonna do it. And obviously I'm not saying by all means I've made anything right now, but I'm pushing towards that direction. But then obviously boxing was what I fell back on after football, after being really, I've always had that mentality just not to just work, to do something. Yeah.
So you mentioned your dad. I've got here that your dad was a boxer. So tell me about, the football thing, that wasn't going to happen. So making that transition from an aspiring footballer, now we're going to go to boxing. Tell me about that transition and how your father helped you in that.
My dad didn't really help me in the transition from football to boxing. It's crazy, obviously you'd feel that because he was a pro, he helped me in that. It was purely on my own choice, my own back. I was working, as I say, and I was just thinking, I went to a few jobs. I was in a sales job for about 2 years, probably about 3 years. So it was a commission-only job. I was doing charity. I was one of them annoying folk knockers on your door trying to talk to you about charity. But I was good at it. I enjoyed it. I had a passion for it because, I know what I'm doing is helping the charities, and a lot of these charities were close to home. It was for things like cancer research, National Deaf Children's Society, British Red Cross, these kind of charities. But yeah, I found after that job, I found myself in and out of different jobs, and I thought, this working life's not for me. I'm not feeling this working life.
Yeah.
I walked past a gym which was on the corner. I think I must have been heading out or something. I had a stage in my life I was going out loads with my boys. Around the age of 22, my early 20s, you discover the clubs and so on. And of course, you start partying and doing whatever more. Because I weren't doing these like partying when I was very young. Obviously I was playing football, I was focused on things that I wasn't doing loads of it. But I walked past a gym which was on the corner, which is on the corner of Her Street, near Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that gym, the glass gym?
Yeah.
So I remember walking past that, and I've walked past it a few times. I walked past it and I thought, nah, I'll go back and look. And I remember actually as well, sorry, before that, my dad took me on the pads.
Okay.
How old must I have been? I must have been about, say, 16, 17. So this is a couple of years beforehand. My dad was always saying, look, you've got power in these hands, like you'll be able to knock people out. And I remember him taking me and my older brother on the pads in a small leaf gym from a young age. And obviously that was another time when my dad decided to say, come out, put you on the pads. I remember him saying that, and that stuck with me. But I went to this gym good couple of times. I was on the corner, and then I had but basically I wasn't going to go in. Then I seen another boxer who came outside, like, are you trying to come into this gym? I was like, I'm just having a look, I don't know if I'm going to come into come to the gym right now or so on. But he's like, no, come in. I'll introduce you to the coach. He introduced you to the coach. His name was Paddy Farrell. The guy who took me in the gym, his name was Romain and Cube. Still keep in contact with both of these today. My first amateur coach, he's got a gym in King's Standing called Second City.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
He was my first amateur coach.
Right.
And he just basically looked at me, he asked me about my boxing background. I told him that my dad was a boxer. I used to do it when I was younger, never competed because my dad never allowed me. And then he was just like, okay, come back in tomorrow then and we'll go. And then from then I just knew I couldn't not show up because I'm now committed in. He expects me to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be here tomorrow. And man, it was just, it was good going back to, I already had it a bit, but going back to the basics, the things I already knew, the little work. And so on, so done all that. And once I had that first session after that, and I was back flying again, he put me straight in the first. I remember he put me straight in that week, literally the same week, sparring and everything. I sparred some experienced guy, man. I remember I was literally getting punched up all around the ring, and I was just sitting there thinking, is this boxing for me? I don't know. I went home.
That's the test, isn't it?
Yeah, I went home, man. I was like, is this boxing for me? Seriously. But I just had it in my head, okay, you know what? I got to get this guy back. And then within a matter of days, man, I just focused. I remember going home watching boxing, focused, got my own gloves as well because I didn't have my own gloves at the start. And I came back, man. I used everything what I known and everything and put it on him, man, and change the tide.
So that was where the heart was tested.
That was it, man. And I think it was good for it to be tested so early. Imagine if the thing is, a lot of people face these moments and then they walk away from them. So I think to myself, imagine if I walked away from the sport right then because I had a day and, all these achievements what I've achieved so far plus more to come. Would not existent, wouldn't be talking.
So how old was you when you went into that gym?
I was 22.
Okay.
22.
Yeah. And then did you go for the amateur, then the pro?
Yeah, I was an amateur with Paddy Farrell for 3 years. I was amateur for, I think, another 2 or 3. think another 2 with my coach I'm with now, Paul Counihan, because I made the transition from Pegg because I knew I was at that age and I was at the time where I was looking to turn over pro. What made me want to turn pro was the birth of my young daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That made me then realize to myself, I know I can do the game, I know, this sport, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I've got the reason why I need to do good in it and the motive why I should. So channeling all that energy, I made the change to say, okay, I'm going to go to experienced coaches, which is, John Pegg, Paul Counihan, Louis Counihan, because I heard of their gym, which was good down their time. So I heard they were doing good things in Birmingham as well, and I've started a lot of pros in their gym.
Yeah.
So I want to get familiar with how their setup was. I went amateur with them for another 2 years before turning pro.
Okay. So then, the transition from amateur to pro then, how many amateur fights did you have, by the way?
I had 19. I didn't have that many.
Okay.
But I didn't, at the same time, that's probably one of my regrets in boxing. I mean, I know I can't look back on it now, but again, I didn't take the amateurs as seriously as I've liked to. It was just one of those things. I was just doing it, but I knew, and my coach and everyone kept saying, man, they were like, listen, take this serious, man. You've got the ability to go far. I'd be like the best 1-round fighter you'd have in probably the world. The best 1 round, no one beat me the first round. That's how amateurs.
Yeah.
No one's beat me the first round, but because I went dedicated enough to it, I would gas out so early on.
Wow. Okay.
Like 2nd or 3rd round. And it's crazy now. Obviously, I'm a 12-round fighter doing it with these 12 rounds. So it's just a testimony to my training.
Yeah.
So
when you say that you moved from like Paddy to Counihan, what was that like? I mean, how do you say goodbye to somebody that sort of like saw you in from the beginning? I know you said you still keep in contact and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then to say, okay, I'm now going to move on to something else. How was that?
It was hard, because I'm a very loyal person.
Yeah.
It was very hard, but it was something where it was respectfully. We had a mutual agreement. Listen, Paddy's a great trainer. He's a good trainer. He's got a great gym. He's done up in the GB institute now. But the GB team. He's probably heading, aiming to go to the Olympics, which 2020, but he's aiming to go to the Olympics now. So great, and he ain't lost much as amateurs. Had loads of amateur fights as well. But for me, I was just at that age, as I say, man. I needed to be around people who not just necessarily my age, but people who were pro as well, and that's what I found in Paul Counihan's gym and with their chief. Like I said, Paul Counihan is like a father figure to me. He's a great trainer. He knows me inside out. Probably knows me more than I know myself at times. So with him and John Pegg, who's a great manager, very well known in the boxing world around here as well. It was a no-brainer for me. These were going to take my game to the next level. But like I said, it was a thing where I left with we left on good terms. Hence why we keep in touch today as well. He's always messaging me. In fact, he sponsored me for his business as well. Scaffolding company, Absolute Scaffolding, for my last fight and also this fight. So it's good to have his backing and support even through that way. And not just that way, he does, he generally drops me a message or calls me from there. But I remember going the first time into Eastside Gym, man, it was just that buzz in that gym.
Okay.
Crazy. The buzz, I was looking around, you had these little 8-year-old amateurs going ham on their bags, and you're just thinking, right, everyone's going hard here, and everyone's like, it was just a good buzz in that gym.
So then making that transition from amateur to pro, how did you find it? Because I spoke to somebody the other day, Daily Perales, and he was saying that he finds that there's a big difference between European or English amateurs than there is, say, for American amateurs. He says he finds the European British style quite upright, quite rigid. Give us your thoughts on that. as in
But as in,
your experience
oh,
from amateur to the pro?
because the thing is for me, when I was at Eastside Gym, I was sparring pros anyway.
Right,
So I believe my style suited more the pros.
right.
I'd have kids who, the thing is, in the pros, you got a lot more time to think, you got a lot more time to work. In the amateurs, people just come rushing in, bowling as much punch as they can. You got a head guard. Obviously, you got very padded 10-ounce gloves. So, although someone can feel the effects of your punches, and, I had a few stoppages in my amateurs as well. But there's a lot more for them to be protected by through all the gear, what they've got.
Yeah.
But in the pro, like I said, it was something where I felt my style suited the pros. And I was never one of those upright amateurs or rigid anyway. I was like a relaxed, flowed.
Yeah, you remind me of Tommy Hearns a little bit, but we'll get
Thanks.
onto your style. But yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns was a beast when it came to that. So I do watch Tommy Hearns quite often. If that's any of the throwback fighters I'd style my style on, it would be him. Like, I look at what he does with my own little course. The pro, like I said, it suited me. Like now, obviously, there's no head guard, 10-ounce glove, and not as padded. So obviously going to feel the effect of it, and I'm good, man. Like, I know I could take a punch. I those kids as well. Even in football, man, you get the ball blasted in your face. I held that calm. You know what I mean? My face felt like it was out there in the cold. All right, man. I held it. I was just like, I'm all good. But I've got a lot of attributes which I've been blessed with. So I can also use them as well as obviously any other skills I've been blessed with as well.
Yeah. So we're coming on to obviously you turning pro, the last few fights. I'm going to move on to the last couple of fights you had. I'm going to talk about Deck Spelman, because obviously he's fought twice this year, hasn't he? And he's fought two other light heavyweights, being Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yard. Looking at your fight with him and comparing it with those, if you watch your fights, if you watch other fights, some people say, oh, I'm not interested in other people's fights. But if you do, how did you compare your performance? Because you're at that level, because you're in there amongst that, aren't you?
Yeah.
How did you compare your fight with Deck compared to Lyndon and Anthony Yard?
It's something where I don't really compare myself to any other fighters or how they handle things. Proven fact on that is a fact of, like, even in Lyndon's situation, Yard got Deck out of there, but Yard couldn't get Lyndon out of there, and Lyndon, so it's styles. But me, what people got to understand, that was the best thing to happen for me. Like, I mean, I watched that fight back now and I cringed. Don't get me wrong. If I watch it back now, I look at it and I'm like, I'm kind of angry with myself. But that was a good learning fight for me. Like, every fighter needs that learning fight. For me, that learning fight, I came through loads, of getting hit, finding out, that I've got a chin, doing the rounds and so on. Because before this, I've only basically, so I had 2 6-rounders leading up to that. My first 6-round, I stopped the guy in the first round, so that weren't even any form of a 6-rounder. And my second one, it went the distance with a negative guy, a negative journeyman. So, like, it wasn't the fact that I was questioning myself, but in this time, Deck had already done about 3 or 4, I think about 10-rounders or so on already. So, and I believe that's where they thought they would have got me. I know my fitness would have always prevailed for me. I always believe in my fitness anyway. It's not a thing where I question my fitness, but if any boxer gets into a ring and makes that step up, then you're always going to have that, you're always going to have that learning fight. You're going to have that fight which is going to knock you back a bit, or, you get through it a hard way, but you're going to learn a hell of a lot. And that's what I'm trying to get out. I believe I've learned a hell of a lot here through that fight. Looking on their fights, obviously Yard done what we all believed he would have done. You know, he's obviously, you know, he's got that come forward presence.
Yep.
Deck obviously was also in a hard fight before, you know, walking in the fight with Yard as well against Lyndon. You know, Lyndon boxed really good. Was very effective with the jab. His ring craft was good. So yeah, but these guys obviously fighting Deck at that time, it's not their first 10 rounder. You know, it's not their first. You know, they're already done. Like,
yep.
I think that first 12.
Yep.
And yeah, but come off lost to Kovalev, and you already fought before then, so they were more experienced and prepared in handling someone like a Deck. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've only been in the game 3 years.
Yep.
These lot have been in the game a lot longer than me. Lyndon's had a great amateur career. Was in GB, and Yard, I know he never had a lot as amateur, but he's been pro longer than me as well. And had more fights. So I'm where I'm at, and I'm only getting better, and I'm not peaked. So looking at my performance, I was happy I got through, and I always believed that I was going to win.
Yeah.
But obviously, watching it back now to things what I know I could do now, it kind of makes me cringe. But such is life, innit? You know, we need that learning fight. That was my learning fight. Deck's a great, and me and him get along. We still talk today.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah. It's just that you fought him before anybody else did. So when it comes to levels, it's like you're leveled on there now because you fought him before than Arthur or Anthony Yard. So it's like it's pushed you up to that level.
Yeah, cool. And let's get that. Like, he only, when I faced him, and like I said, a lot of people wouldn't face someone like that. You know what I mean? Going into their first 10 rounder, and fair play to Deck. You know, he had the English title. Obviously, I beat him off the ultimate boxer. That was just a 3-round format.
Yeah.
He had his voluntary English, and he said, "Look, we want Shakan Pitters." You know what I mean? And he wants to obviously revenge his loss to me in ultimate boxer, put things straight. Deck's a puncher. You know, he only lost once before fighting me. And that was to that Scott Westgraf, is it? Yeah. So, you know, rest in peace him. But that was to him.
Right.
So for me, obviously getting in there and doing what I've done and I handled it. It was good.
Obviously, you've got your fight on Friday coming up with Craig Richards, which is a very anticipated fight for all boxing fans. I know I'm looking forward to it. But you fought Chag Sugden in between, you know, sickness, contracts, deals, all of the rigmarole that you were going through with Craig to get the fight actually finalised. You went on to fight Chag Sugden. So from your Deck Spelman to your Chag Sugden, tell me about your improvements. You were saying that Deck was the learning. You cringe when you look at it. What did you do to improve in that short space of time? It was about a year.
Yeah, it was
it's about a year, wasn't it? About 11 months.
That for a year, almost a year as well, because obviously this COVID madness.
Yeah.
So it was almost a year. But you know what? It's my team. I got a great team. We was all in. You know, one thing we don't stop doing is working and improving. Yeah. We've got a great team, as I say, man. Great manager, John Pegg. You know, great coaching team. Louis Counihan, Paul Counihan, big Marcus in our gym as well. I've got a great team. So I think from there, that's where I learned, you know, a lot more, and still learning now on my games now. So people seeing the improvements, you know, like Chad and his team just kept going on a bit about, I think they were like, "Oh, Spelman hit you this many times." I think he said something like that in one of the interviews, and I was like, "I'm glad you're watching that fight. I'm glad you're watching that fight.
Yeah.
Base information on that fight, please, because I'm totally different from that fight." And obviously, they found out. There's a lot to come from me, for sure. I'm always, like I said, I'm always learning. I'm always working. I'm always in the gym, and I've got a great team.
Yeah, that's a really good attitude to have, that you've got. Like, you've won all your fights, but you can look back and reflect and say, that still wasn't everything. That makes me cringe. I know that I've got to do work. And that's coming from the voice of a winner. And that's probably why you keep pushing forward, because you're able to stop and reflect and think, okay, what do I need to do next? Craig Richards, then, your fight that's coming up this week. I think I've enjoyed watching you two go at it on social media, in your telephone press conferences. I really hope the fight is as exciting as you two going off on social media.
That guy, he loves the sound of his voice, man. He don't stop talking, man. But as I say, look, for me, it's what it is, isn't it? It's another fight. It's another day. It's not personal to me. It's business. I go in there, business. I get the win. I push on from there. I wish him the best in his career. I hope he has a good Christmas with his family. That's all it is for me.
Yeah. So looking at Craig Richards, then, what do you see as his weaknesses? What do you hope to manipulate? Obviously, I know you're not going to give me any game plan. I get that. I don't want to know that. But as an opponent, what do you see as a weakness for Craig Richards?
I can honestly say this. I've never really looked at my own opponents to see any of their weaknesses. I know what my strengths are. Okay. And going there in that ring, which is me, Shakan Pitters, I box my strengths. If certain things ain't working, I adjust to them. Adjust to whatever I can exploit, or what I can do better, or what I could switch up in the ring. Like, I don't ever really feel of any of their weaknesses. But what I can say is his last couple of performances has not been impressive at all. Mm-hmm. It's like getting to a point for him, does he even know what winning feels like? Because he's scraped, he's due his last fight. He scraped to win against Sterling, which Sterling, in my eyes, threw that away. He banked a lot early rounds. Maybe his fitness or whatever, but he threw that away towards the end. Mm-hmm. And it was, people still had him winning. His last big win was against Jake Bull. And Jake Bull's retired, So he's not done anything convincingly, mm-hmm. What I'm saying, to have anyone thinking, oh, you know what, his wins have been scraped. It's like I said, his performance is like an old man in there. And, I'm a year older than him, but he really struggles, whether it's in the rounds, whether it's to just get impressive wins. He struggles. So, but that's him, he's on his own journey. Yeah. I'm on my own journey. Yeah. I've got to do. He's out there trying to do, I'm not going to knock what he's doing, he's out there trying to obviously make a career of something, do something positive, which he is. Yeah. And, he's got the international. Mm-hmm. He ain't got that. But I just believe, as like I said, on the night, it'll all be shown. I'll just do everything better than him. Yeah. And I'm a more elite fighter than him. Mm-hmm. But,
so do you predict, because if you do, what are you hoping? Obviously the win, but if you were to predict, is this going to go the distance?
We've trained for 12 hard rounds. Whether it's 12 rounds or less, like I said, I'll get the win. I never like going there with the intentions thinking I'm going to get him out in 2 rounds, 3 rounds. But I prepared for 12 hard rounds, but I hit him and he goes and I got him hurt. I'm getting him out of there.
What have you got your eyes on next?
I don't ever have my eyes on anyone. That's what I got my team for, Obviously, my promotional team, Mick Hennessy, my manager, John Pegg, and my coaches, they all, lies together, like work with each other. Yeah. Then for them to do all that, I'm just a fighter. I get in that ring. I do my job as a fighter. I fight. I get the win. Make sure I get the W. Then we push on from there. But as I say, man, in all my fights, I've never looked past anything. I've focused on the date in front of me. Yeah. Next Friday, December the 18th, it's the next date for me where I make the ring walk. I step between the ropes and I'll get the win. But I get it, it's obviously people would like to know the direction I want to go. Of course, long as it's up. I mean, each year I've been a pro. Yeah. On new things, new titles. So I won the Ultimate Boxer. I won the British title, then now I won the British title. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'd like to win more titles. Mm-hmm. But who and what title and when and where, whatever it may be, I'm yet to know and I'm yet to think of that. I ain't even, you know what I mean? I ain't got no gifts. I ain't bought nothing. I ain't thought Christmas at all. All I think about is December the 18th.
Yeah. The light heavyweight division, and not looking past Craig, who would you like to have a match with? And I'm saying not, you know, just you look at the lightweight and you think, I think that would be a nice fight for me.
Whoever, man, whoever makes sense.
Mm.
I would say Canelo in America. For me, whoever it makes sense, man, honestly. As I say, man, I've never based my career on calling anyone out.
Yeah.
I believe every boxer's doing their thing. You know, it's nothing personal again with any boxer who I fight, who are, you know, anything. I wish them all the best. We're all in it to try and make a difference in ourselves, family. But I'm just focused on me, and my focus, as I say, man, it's got to be just December.
Yeah.
There's fight. Obviously, the fans do all the talking. The fans will say, you know, they at me and say, "Oh, to be this and do that." So, but it's my job, man. Just keep learning, keep improving, keep working hard, and focus on December.
So your 5-year plan then as a pro, what are you seeking to achieve in the next 5 years? And how long do you want to keep the boxing game up?
Again, man, I've never actually thought of how long I'd want to carry on boxing for. I do, obviously, I love the sport. I love where I'm at now. Obviously, I've signed a good deal with Nick Hennessy. Yeah. So, all the backing. But I've not, again, it's hard because it's like if I would have said to people when I first got into boxing, I'm going to be probably British champion within such years. Probably some people would have laughed. Some people would have been like, go for it. Some people would have been like, yeah, whatever, you crazy. But I've got, like I said, I've got to where I am because I just focus on a task at a time. And then when you do back, you've come further, you know, then you felt like it's the same in a boxing ring. I fight around that. I don't fight thinking, oh, I've got 12 or I've got 5, 6, you know, I just fight round at a time. So I think that's again how I take my boxing career. I've not even looked. Obviously, I'd imagine myself, and I'd always, the aim is to obviously be a world champion. Fighting to Las Vegas and all these plans. Of course, that is my goal and dream. That is goal and dream. So whether I'll get there within the 5-year period of time, who knows? We'll see. But I think as long as this approach is working for me right now, this one step at a time,
you'll stick with that.
I can't change that, you know. I've always done it. Just one day, one fight at a time.
Yeah, you say that like your dad did it for the money, etc. What are you in it for?
That's a good question.
Obviously, money's money. I get that. But what is it for you?
For me, like, turning pro was always with my daughter in mind. So it was never, oh, I can make money. It was turning pro. I knew that the opportunities as a professional, it's big. Of course, money comes with it, but only there's comfort in life. And I'm someone where I always just wanted to set my daughter up good. I never wanted her, you know, struggling in life with them. Some people may say that's me trying to spoil her. I don't care. That's my daughter. You know. So at the end of the day, I've just always had her in mind. Want to be able to. She comes to me and go, Dad, because I remember being at college and I was studying. I've done really good at law. At first, I wanted to actually go on to push on to do a bar vocational course, which is to be a barrister. And at the time, then my mum and dad split up. They went together, so it would have been all on my mum to pay 12 grand for this course, and they didn't really have these grants. You know, I could have got a loan, but I didn't want to start off, you know, already owing money before I even
make money.
With a lot of these uni students, it's not that, you know, they have you already in a debt before you even go there. So I didn't even bother pursuing it, and I would have loved to, but again, such is life. Things happen differently. You know, who knows what would happen.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to be in a situation where my daughter gets older and studies, because obviously I will push her in the old traditional route of, you know, studying and doing. I want to be there to help her with that. You know, I don't want her to have any any disadvantage when it comes to that. You know, I want to be there as a parent to say, okay, yeah, I can help you with first house, I can help you with your first car, I can help you with your studies, your professional studies, your equipment, what you need, those things. It's never a thing to just let her, you know, go out there and ball out on daddy's money or whatever. Just to give her opportunity, grant opportunity, and that's what I always want to do, of course. But I enjoy the sport as well. Like, I'm a fan of it. You know, I've grown up seeing my dad on the TV. You know, I used to always watch my dad on the TV. I used to watch like Mike Tyson. So at that age, it was never about me thinking, oh, how much is Mike Tyson now? No, it was just that, you know, this guy's explosive. He's a good boxer. He's doing it. My dad brought me to the gym without, you know, any choice of mine, because I was just young. And of course, my mum was working at the time, and my brothers, Andre and Am, were amateur boxers. So it was a thing where my dad couldn't just leave me in the house. I was made to be there. I had to be there. Even if I was about in the bags, I was still doing something. So I just grown on me, you know. And I always have this conversation with my brothers. Now, it could have been more or less any of us in the situation I'm in. They were also talented. It's just that I just took that serious route out, went professional. That's all it was. It could be my brothers here, you know, today as well.
So I know you speak about your daughter. What happens? Because history's got a good way of repeating itself. She comes when she's 16, 17 or 15. Dad, I'm going to start boxing. What you saying?
Now, you know what? I've always said stuff, I don't want her to do it, because I know the feeling, man. Like, you've got that. When someone's in the ring, it's only you who can change that situation, or the ref owners can stop it. Now, I'm saying I don't have no belief in my daughter. Of course, I have my belief in my daughter. It's a thing where she wanted to do it, and she really wanted. I'm gonna put my all into training her to make sure. Listen, you are gonna be the best. And if that's good, I'm gonna put you through the paces. So that's where I'm at with that. I wouldn't like her to, but there's times when she's had to come training with me.
I've seen it. You give her the taste.
Yeah, so I don't want her to, but obviously, of course, her mum works and things like that, and everyone's doing their own thing, or my mum's not able to have her own things and looking after her. To bring her, and then, like, she won't sit there. Like, I'll try and make her sit on there with her iPad on her, you know, Wonder Woman's and all that, and all those programs. She's not interested. She'll go to my bag, she'll put on a glove and just bag, and I'm just like, damn, okay. We'll see where we go here. And then she's, even with this bout, she'll open it sometimes. She'll put it on with the gloves, and I'm just like,
it can happen, because you know where women's boxing's going at the moment. Really pulling through. So by the time your daughter is of age to be able to do it, there's a good possibility that history can repeat itself. Thank you so much. All the best for next week. Hopefully one of the days I can, like, when all this COVID stuff's over, I can be chasing you after your fight with a microphone and getting that fresh post-fight interview. Do you know what I mean? And all the rest of them saying, no, let October Red do it. But thank you very much for your time. All the best for next week. All right.
Yeah, we'll catch up soon. Thank you.
Defo. I'll speak to you soon. October Red on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And don't forget, at October Red, we stay ready.